Average Woodsman here, back with another video. So I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to be going over the items that I'm going to be carrying with me on an upcoming hunting / camping trip. So I got a quota. I'm going to be spending 3 days and 3 nights out in a wildlife management area, and I'm going to be camping. I'm going to have a base camp, and then I'm going to hunt from there. I wanted to do a video basically showing the items that I'm going to be taking with me on the trip. So I'm going to do this category by category, and the first category obviously is going to be cutting tools. Remember, I'm going to be carrying these items in with me on my back, so I'm not carrying a lot of items. If I had conveyance, for instance like a ATV or pickup truck, I would probably have a lot more gear with me, but I'm not carrying much because I'm going to be carrying all this on my back. So I'm going to be using 3 cutting tools. Obviously my belt knife is going to be my main cutting tool. Battle Horse Knives Buckeye, 01 Tool Steel, 5/32, Scandinavian Grind, nice sharp 90-degree spine, all the things you'd want in a good belt knife. My Silky Gomboy, obviously you can't go wrong with a Silky Saw. And last but certainly not least, I have my SAK. This is the Outrider. This is probably my favorite model and the one that I carry the most. Alright, so next up is containers. I'm going to do containers and combustion at the same time because I use my bush pot to hold other items so it doesn't just take up space in my pack. So I have my Grail water filter. This is a container plus a water filter in one. There's a ton of videos out on the Grail GeoPress. I mean, this is by far my favorite water filtration system, and I carry it everywhere with me. Second, my stainless steel water bottle and cup. I mean, this thing has been in a million videos that I've made. I've had this thing for probably, I don't know, 10 or 11 years now. It's been with me through the Pathfinder courses that I've done, the Randall's Adventure and Training courses that I've done. It's been with me all over the country and still holding strong. Along with my other 2 containers, I have my bush pot. Inside of it, just a bandana. I have some habanero hot sauce, some allspice that I made. This has, salt, pepper, garlic powder, crushed red pepper flakes, just a bunch of different things. There's a few other things in here too, but this is like a rub / spice mixture that I make. Obviously everyone knows Bic lighter inside of an Exotac fire sleeve. My Exotac rip spool. This has braided fishing line. It has duct tape, and inside of it, this is a sail needle for repairs, which is also part of the 10Cs. Extra batteries for my flashlight, some man-made fire tender, another Bic lighter. I have just some quadruple aught steel wool for tool maintenance, and then a can of chicken breast. That'll be for my food. I also have my massive Uberleben ferro rod. This thing is a beast. Everyone knows the more surface area, the better. And this thing provides a lot of surface area for even getting really marginal tender ignited. Next category we have is cordage. So I actually just opened this nylon rope. This is braided nylon rope. It's so super useful. The other one that I had, I ended up cutting it up and using it for my for my canoe anchor, for tie downs for my canoe. I mean, you just use it everywhere. I use this all over the house. around the house, and it's just such a useful cordage, so I went ahead and bought another one. And I literally just opened this, and I'm going to bring this with me for around camp. Obviously, I have my Rapid Deploy Ridgeline, and I have just a couple of hanks here of bank line. Can never have enough bank line. It's probably the most useful, most versatile cordage to have out in the woods. So this one's going to seem kind of cluttered, since this is where most of the space is being taken up in my kit. It's all cover, and I go ahead and, you know, I like to throw in jackets, socks, long underwear, all those is cover, because these are your first line of defense from the elements. Now, being here in Florida in November, it's just not very cold. The forecast is something around the low to mid 60s at night and the low to mid 80s during the day. So being really cold is not something that I'm going to be worried about. So I'm just going to bring my Wooby hoodie if it gets a little bit chilly at night. I got some extra socks, obviously. My sniper's veil, which I always have in all my kits. This is an inflatable pillow. I mean, it's really worth its weight in gold, and it takes up no space and weighs virtually nothing. I have some heavy meal trash bags. I always keep heavy meal trash bags in my kit. This is, I think this was in my last video. I showed it. This is a SOL reusable space blanket. This is a tarp / poncho. This has tie outs on it, and I've used this thing, I couldn't even tell you how many times. It really works well for both a tarp configurations, and it's big enough to be worn over a pack and keep you dry if it's really raining. Now, there's no rain in the forecast, but this is Florida. We get a lot of rain. I have my Shemagh, which all this is laying on. That's obviously another cover element. And of course, my main sleeping item, my 100% merino wool, queen size wool blanket. And like I said, it's not going to be very cold, so my wool blanket is more than enough to keep me warm at night. So these are my candling devices. A good flashlight, a couple of chem lights, and my headlamp. This is actually not a Princeton Tech headlamp. That's just the case. The headlamp, I'll show you guys real quick. This is actually a Petzl headlamp. So even though the case is a Princeton Tech, this is actually a Petzl headlamp, and this is a rechargeable, and then I have spare batteries inside of this case. So plenty enough for the 3 days I'll be out there. Next are just some miscellaneous items that don't really fit specifically in any category. So a power bank with a charging cable for my phone. I have a complete first aid kit, some wet wipes, my titanium spork. I prefer the long handled titanium spork personally. These are leather mechanics gloves, and then just some emergency tinder, some fat wood that I collected from a fallen pine tree. I don't even know how long I've had this, probably a while. I have a whole container in my garage full of natural tenders, cedar bark, fat wood, old black Spanish moss, cattail. I mean, just basically all the different types of natural tenders you can think of. So this is my food for the 3 days. I have snacks, just Slim Jim here. This is beef jerky that I make myself. Right here in this bag, I have These are ramen. I believe these are the seafood flavored ramen that I get from the Asian market right down the road from my house. I have some sardines, some broccoli and cheese, just add water pasta. In here I have some ramen. This is the seafood flavor. These are really good. I get these from the Asian market right down the road from my house. I have some sardines, some broccoli cheddar pasta, just add water, some dehydrated eggs, and I have pancake mix in here also, just add water. So I have plenty of food, plenty of calories, plenty of protein in this. I also, one other thing I do have in here, I also have a chicken Alfredo, just add water. This is a Hill People Gear belt kit. This I'm going to be carrying with me also when I'm, not just when I hike in with my pack on, but this is also going to be something I'm going to be carrying with me when I'm out hunting. So I figured I'd go over what's inside of it. In the front, there's really nothing besides a spare magazine pouch for my Glock 19. I have a Glock 19 in here in the back portion with a TLR 7A weapons light. And here I have some more cordage. This has my notepads, my Right in the Rain notepads. This is my compass and map cards right here. I'm going to take this out. My Soonto MC2. I already printed out a map of the wildlife management area, so I'll have that. And then in here, just a spare ferro rod, pencil, and a Sharpie. That's really all I have in this kit. This is what's going to go with me when I'm out hunting. This will also be on me when I'm hiking in, because the pack I'm using, which I'll show, doesn't actually have a waist belt. The pack that I'm going to be using for this trip is the Grey Ghost Gear Gypsy. It's a canvas backpack. I'm not sure exactly the specs of it. You'll have to look those up. But it's not a very large pack. It's actually pretty cool because it takes both the old school canvas design and adds some kind of, I don't know if I'd say tactical, but definitely modernization to it. So it has this big just dump pouch in it, which I really like. Has just one zipper here, one zipper in the front. This kind of admin pouch in the front with a couple zippered pockets. And then just two right here in the front. And that's really it. The sides zipper down. And you can fit like a water bottle, or if you wanted to throw like a small axe, like a hatchet, or maybe a large knife or machete, you could do that. I just strapped, because it has MOLLE down here on the bottom, I just went ahead and strapped my wool blanket to the bottom and with some paracord. But you know, if you wanted to get some bedroll straps or something like that, you could. Alright, so this is everything that I'm going to take with me, obviously all packed up, excluding the clothing that I'll be wearing, so my pants, my boots, my shirt. And remember, be safe, stay dangerous.